There is blood, gore, intense, violent nudity. Just want to make sure my audio is okay.
Sup everybody, welcome to our pregame show for our tabletop adventures in Warhammer 40k. I am going to be running Adeptus Mechanicus.
And I'll be running Thousand Suns.
And we're going to be going over all the details of our armies, everything that we've chosen for their weapons and everything like that. So if you want to skip ahead all that lovely information, check the link down below to get right to the game. Beyond that, here we go to the armies. Okay everyone, here's my 1,002 points of Adeptus Mechanicus. This is going to be from the Forge World of Mars, and this is going to be my first battalion game. So I have 3 troop choices, 2 HQ choices, and a few other elites and heavy assists. So without further ado, let's start with our HQ. Okay, for my Warlord in HQ, I'm going to be using this Belisarius cowl, and his Warlord trait is the Psalm Static Code. And he is quite the Billy Badass. I'm looking forward to seeing what he does. He, for weapons, has got his the Solar Atomizer, Arch Scourge, a Mechadendrite Hive. Thank you for the note. Yeah, that's going to be fun. Alright, that's my HQ and my Warlord. Okay, for my second HQ, I have a Tech Priest Dominus. He is also going to be upgraded with my one relic, the Axe of the Red Planet, or the Red Axe, I'm sorry. He is also armed with an Eradication Ray and a Macro Stubber. And yeah, another Billy Badass, only smaller. For my troops, I have 3 groups of 5 Skitarii Rangers. And the only upgrade for them I have is one of them is going to be armed with a sword. It's a power sword. And the rest are pretty well standard. Alright, so those are my 3 troops. For my fast attack, I have a Dragoon. He's going to be armed with a Phosphorus Serpenta and a Radium Giselle. And yeah, he's going to be fast running around sniping people. It should be fun. Alright, for my heavy support, I have a Doomcrawler. It's going to be armed with a heavy stubber and an Icarus array. Yay, lots of missiles. And he also has an upgrade for a smoke launcher for some cover once per game. From one of my elite choices here, I'm going to have a Data Smith. He's going to be armed with a Power Fist and a Gamma Pistol. Yay. And he'll be working with my last heavy unit, which is going to be my robots. And for the last bit here, I have my heavy support. I have 2 Castellan robots as a unit. I've kind of divided up their abilities a little bit here. The first one is going to be armed with the Castellan Fists for melee, and he's also armed with a heavy Phosphorus Blaster. That's this guy right here. And the other one has 2 heavy Phosphorus Blasters and the Incendiary Combustor. So that way they have both close quarters and distance range for both of them. So that was all my units and a little bit about what they're kitted out with. So for overall for the army, since I'm running a battalion straight from the Warforged of Mars, they get some bonuses. The Mars gets the Glory to the Omnisci bonus. So for the Glory for the Omnisci, each time you randomly determine which canticle of the Omnisci is being enchanted, roll 2 dice instead of 1. Add all units with the Dogma receive this benefit for both results instead of just the results of the first dice. If duplicated, no additional canticles is enchanted this turn. Adeptus Mechanicus at long last, and that's the end of my army.
Here is my 1,005 point battalion attachment Thousand Suns army. Moving on to my HQ. My first HQ right here is also my Warlord. His Warlord trait is Tenacious Survivor. He is a sorcerer in Terminator armor, and he is armed with a Force Sword and Combi Melta. And his psychic powers are Warp Time and Prescience. Moving on to my second HQ. Right here, it's the Ahriman on the disc. He is armed with the Inferno Bolt Pistol, the Black Staff of Ahriman, and one frag and crack grenades. And his psychic powers are Infernal Gaze, Warp Time, and Prescience. Okay, so for my elites, I have Scarab Occult Terminators right here. They consist of 4 Scarab Occult Terminators, which are all back here, and 1 Scarab Occult Sorcerer right here. He is equipped, the Scarab Occult Sorcerer is equipped with a Inferno Combi Bolt and Force Stave, and he knows the Psychic Power Smite. And then the Scarab Occult's 1, right here, is armed with a Soul Reaper. The rest have Inferno Combi Bolts, and they all have Power Swords. Moving on to my heavy support, right here, we have the Forge Fiend with 3 Ectoplasmic Cannons. For my dedicated transport, we have a Chaos Rhino right here, and he is equipped with the Havoc Launcher, the Combi Flamer, and the Combi Bolter. Alright, and now moving on to the troops. Alright, starting off with our troops, we have Rubric Marines, which consists of 4 Rubric Marines and Aspiring Sorcerer. The Rubric Marines have Infernal Bolt Gun. The Aspiring Sorcerer has the Force Stave and the Infernal Bolt Pistol, and has the Psychic Power of Smite. Moving on to my Zangors. We have 2 units of 10. 1 of each have the Twist Spray, which are these guys right here, with the flags. And they all have auto pistols, chain swords, and each unit has a instrument of chaos. Alright, and that is my 1005 point Thousand Suns Battalion Army.
For you guys today, the game that they have chosen to play is a Secure and Control Eternal War mission. On the left-hand side of the table, we have Matt's deployment zone, and on the right we have Scott's, a good old hammer and anvil deployment. In this mode, there are 2 objectives in each deployment zone. Well, there's 1 objective in each deployment zone, so there's just 2 objectives. There were 3 victory points at the end of the game for whoever is controlling them. First Blood, Line Breaker, and Slay the Warlord are in effect. Whoever has the most victory points at the end of the game wins, with a variable game length. So on to first deployment.
Alright, so to start, I've put my Forge Fiend here, a little bit inside of the deployment area. And I plan on kind of just spreading everything else out from there.
Alright, for my first unit, I deployed my Dune Crawler in pretty much the only open space I had besides going up terrain, so it kind of fits there, so that's why I put it there.
Next unit to deploy would be my Chaos Rhino, who also has a unit of my Zangors in it, and it is taking the frontal movement.
Okay, for my next placement, I placed my Dragoon near my marker. It also gives him, with his speed, access to the entire right flank. So hopefully I can get in, take a couple pot shots, and get out.
Alright, next is my Warlord, or my Sorcerer in Terminator armor, and he's getting placed right here because it's going to be more or less in the middle of my army.
Okay, for my next unit, I deployed a group of my Rangers in the center field. They will soon be joined by, the rest of them.
Okay, so for my 4th deployment, we have my other Zangor unit, just going straight there, taking the lead as well.
Alright, for my next deployment, I deployed my 2nd HQ's choice. My guy here, my Dominus with the Red Axe artifact, will be backing up my Rangers as they move forward.
My Scarab Occults are my next deployment, and they're going right here, and they're going up the left side flank, or what would be my left side flank.
Okay, for next deployment is the 2nd group of Rangers. They will be joining the middle line of defense.
Alright, so Ahriman was the next deployment. He's going smack dab in the middle.
Alright, for my next deployment, I get my last group of Rangers in here. Pretty solid firing group right here. The support of my HQ, that's not too bad.
Alright, so for the last deployment that I have, my Rubric Marines are pulling up the back. So, and that is all of my deployment.
Okay, since Matt's already finished his deployment, I got to deploy all my remaining units. I put my robots with their data handler on the right flank, along with my warlord. These hopefully these 4 will be be able to hold the right flank while my sniper does what it does and gets out and about.
Alright, with the 2 armies deployed, at the moment Matt will have the first turn unless Scott can seize the initiative. And this concludes the pregame show. A reminder to check out the link in the description down below to jump straight into the game.